employer to have a tether on you until midnight. And I just think that just seems like common sense, decent, behavior. And it's your choice. If you want to do that, do that. I mean, if you the employee want to work, But again, it's you need to also take some time for yourself, and you need to not work at some point.
Yeah.
Can I ask you just because this is an interesting question because like the maternity leave, the paid.
Don't
you
go over
guys,
there
I'm sure,
with
you
AB. He's
and,
mad.
Facebook and a lot of the social media giants have really good plans in terms of if you're going to have a baby or how much time you can take off. And in fact, I don't know who it is. Somebody just you can have unlimited time.
Netflix, yeah.
Netflix
does it.
It's like, can that be? Are they shitting me or when they are they like or because I can imagine that would just make it worse. Because then at Netflix, you don't know when or how much you can take off, or how much are they going to hate me, or the boss is I'm going to get the worst job when I come back, or I'm like, isn't that an issue? Like even in a place here where you have to think about.
I think in general, just in America, I think it's just any company that I've been at where it's just, you do feel that pressure where it's like, oh, I do want to take 2 weeks after I get married. I want to take a week here, a week there. But it is very much in terms of American culture, just disconnecting in general and just trying to break away and not feel guilty for doing that sometimes. So that's about me. You?
Hey, Michael.
I did.
So I think, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think a lot of us would agree that America has some of the best innovation, especially in the tech sector, in the whole world. So I was wondering if you thought that if America was to adopt some of the policies like in Europe, if you think that that would stifle some of the innovations that are coming out of America.
No, and in fact, I just said, what I just said. I do believe that's one of the things that's really great about us. When you say stifle, like you mean the vacation thing, or what? Like what do they have that would stifle us here?
I'm not sure exactly, but I know I've looked around at Europe just doesn't have. If you look at like tech startups, there's not that many in Europe, and sure some of it might be that like it's already established in the U.S., but I imagine that it might just be a little bit harder and more expensive to start a business there.
Yeah, well, that I don't know about, but I think that just imagine though if you actually had a few weeks to not have to worry about work, how many people in this room had an idea that if you just had a little time to explore the idea or investigate it, to noodle with it, to go into whatever your version of the workshop is for you. What great ideas or inventions are we not getting because there's so much pressure on you to be a certain way and to work a certain way that doesn't allow that to come out. I'm more concerned about that, and I think that if we were a little more European, just chilled a little more, the creativity in us, and I don't mean just inventing the next tech thing. There's somebody in here that probably has got a great novel in them, or a screenplay or a movie they'd like to, or whatever. Maybe there's just a great poem that needs to be written in this room. Are you allowing yourself to have the time to do that and the freedom to do that, and are you having the chill to do that? I guess I'm more concerned about that. When you hear that they have more regulations there's a reason they do on some level, and that's because they don't want you to eat bad meat, and they want to make sure the products are right, and they're strict about certain things because they care about the people, so they're concerned about that. They don't want polluters polluting, things like that. So, but about the small businesses and all that, I don't know much about. Thanks. Yeah.
Am I allowed to ask a question about Donald Trump, or is it just me?
You are not allowed. This is America. Of course, you can ask me. Ask me anything you want.
I had a moment that you as a filmmaker might relate to. I was, for holidays, I was in Europe, and I was at a show, and I was so enjoying, and then I had all of a sudden this moment of, this feels very much like the beginning of a Second World War movie that shows Europe before the war, that everybody is just enjoying the culture, people are participating in opera and concert and everything, and all of a sudden the generals are called into an emergency meeting and a war is breaking out. My point is, why are we so comfortable with believing Trump has no chance? What have we, as the world, learned after Second World War that we're so confident another fascist government is not going to come to power? Another person like Hitler, who started all these ideas by bullying minority group or religious group, is not going to happen again. Like, nothing has seriously happened, and we are still very strongly believing Donald Trump doesn't have a chance. And I have been hearing that for the last 6 months, and now
Yeah.
solidly leading the GOP.
The reason people think that he doesn't have a chance, and I think you're okay to think that he doesn't have a chance, is because everybody knows the America we live in now. And it's not angry white guys like Donald Trump. It is the people I said. Women generally aren't going to vote for Trump. He's guaranteed that. People of color are not going to vote. You can look at all the polls. I mean, I saw one poll where Hispanics, it wasn't even 0%. It was like it was a negative number, and I couldn't. How do you get a negative number in a poll? So it's and then young people. You were the one good thing baby boomers and the next generation did in terms of who your parents are, is I think that we raised a generation of people who don't hate. You're not haters. You don't hate people because of their skin color. You don't hate people because of who they are in love with. And we raised you, and so it's very hard for the proto-fascist types to take charge. It's like, if women were voting, would they vote for Hitler? If black people and Hispanics voted in mass, would they vote for Hitler? I mean, not to use Hitler as I only use it because you use that example, but I'm just saying that it's nothing to be afraid of, but we should be conscious of it, and we should no longer treat him as a joke. He should be taken seriously and dealt with. And so I tweeted out yesterday when he said that about Bill Clinton was an abuser of women. Well, actually, Bill Clinton gave us the Family Leave Act, so we don't have paid maternity leave, but we have maternity leave now. You can take so many weeks off, thanks to Bill Clinton. He was pro-choice. He had consensual sex with an adult. And none of our business, frankly. And then I just hashtag Trump's 3 wives. Not that there's anything wrong with having 3 wives. Sometimes the third one is a charm, and I make no judgment about that. I'm just saying, I was just my way of putting it out there. I'd love to hear from him, because this guy can't get away with that. Shouldn't get away with that. And I'm not a Hillary. I haven't endorsed anybody for president. I'm just saying though that if he's going to go down that road, people have got to stand up against this and not be bullied.
What does that say?
Yes, thank you.
It went off.
Hi. So, growing up in Australia, I always felt.
I'm sorry.
It went off. I don't know.
Kiss this one.
I mean, I'm here now, right?
Camera has stopped.
I found a pipe.
Unofficial.
Kiss this one.
Unofficial what?
Did I found a pipe full of dope?
I don't care. Don't smoke it because you're gonna go to jail. You're gonna be out
I
of it.
broke it.
Cool.
But I remember watching.
What does that say? Unofficial. Oh fuck.
Look like